Hey YouTube, I wanted to make a video today for you guys. Today's video, I want to talk about what I miss about California. The first and most obvious thing I miss is my friends in California. I have several different friends that I made throughout my time there and prior to that at Burning Man. And unfortunately, since moving to Tennessee, it's kind of hard to get out to California. It's expensive to fly out there. It's time consuming. It's across the country. There's jet lag, and so it makes it difficult to see my friends. Obviously, now that I'm not currently living in California. Next, I miss the healthy food. Unfortunately, in Tennessee, most of the options are fast food. Gained a little bit of weight since moving here. I'm working on burning some of that off, but it's difficult. It's not as easy as in California to eat healthy. In California, there's salad places all over most of the major metro areas. You can get healthy smoothies, and you can get just like meat and vegetables, like fast casual type places are everywhere. Those types of places are not as frequent or common in Tennessee, unfortunately. Next, outdoor activities. It's The weather in Tennessee is kind of extreme. It's usually too cold or too hot. There's only a couple of months where it's actually mild from what most people would say. And so aside from that, it's there's also a lot of humidity and a lot of insects and bugs like mosquitoes that tend to bite. And these types of things make it kind of difficult to enjoy the outdoors at times. Some people would disagree and they don't mind the heat, they don't mind the bugs, they don't mind a lot of these types of things. They need to use sunscreen because the sun's so bright. Uh, but I find that these things discourage me from spending a lot of time outdoors in Tennessee. I find that I have to, spray a lot of strong smelling repellent, and I have to put on a lot of lotion and still deal with humidity and that sort of sticky feeling. It kind of deters me from wanting to spend as much time outside. Um, in California, it's kind of different because there's not as many bugs. It doesn't get as hot in many of the areas that I spend time in. Of course, you can choose out there. Do I want to be in a more of a hot area, or do I want to be near the coast where it's a little bit cooler, perhaps up in the mountains? There's a little bit more choice when it comes to the type of weather that you want. And that definitely contributes to being able to go hiking more easily, being able to go for walks. Uh, Definitely, urban California is more walkable than, if you could call it, urban Tennessee. There's a lot more opportunities to like walk to the coffee shop and get a coffee, or uh, walk down the street and get some kind of healthy meal. Next, public transit. There's almost no public transit in Tennessee, and what public transit there is generally speaking not very well organized. I've had instances in Tennessee where I've had to give public transit drivers directions. That's not so much an issue in California. I've noticed that there's different options in each of the major metro areas. There's usually some type of train or more than one train. There's usually multiple buses, and then there's also private options like Lyft and Uber. And then in some cases, if you live close enough to work or to your destination, you can just walk or bike. That's another popular way to travel in California. What else? Mild weather. That kind of goes into what I was talking about earlier. It's a little easier to make plans when you don't have to account for inclement weather like rainstorms or thunder. What else? Some people might say, "Oh, well, you've got earthquakes," but that's not really weather. That is an issue, and it's something to think about in California. But from a sheer day-to-day perspective, not necessarily long term, but day-to-day life, there are a lot more opportunities um, to enjoy sort of comfortable weather, to not have to either wear shorts and a t-shirt or heavy jackets and all of that. A lot of the time, you'll notice people can get around in much of California with just like shorts and a sweater or pants and a sweater. Basically, you can remove or add one layer and you're pretty comfortable. It doesn't seem to be as much the case in places like the Midwest, East Coast, Tennessee. It seems like sometimes, not sometimes, but always with the humidity, you can wear multiple layers, but if it's cold, it seems to cut through your layers, which doesn't seem to be as much the case in drier environments. Um, what else? So kind of a personal one, but I'm really into technology and learning about new forms of technology and starting to learn about the latest types of iterations of things like computer science and artificial intelligence, things like that. These types of things are basically really prevalent around Northern California as far as industries go, jobs go, interests go. And it's very easy in Northern California specifically, but I think the same could probably be said or similar could be said about Southern California to find meetups about these topics where you can just go and usually they'll have some kind of snack or drink and they'll have presentations about these subjects and about certain specific niches of these subjects. And sometimes they are paid, but a lot of the times they're free. You can go out and meet and network with all kinds of different people. And I just don't see those events as much in Tennessee outside of Nashville. I'm sure there's some in Knoxville and Memphis, but outside of Nashville, which seems to be the tech hub for Tennessee, seems to be very challenging to have those types of experiences. Of course, even in Nashville, it's not really on the same scale. Nashville's a metro area of say 2 million people. The Bay Area is more like metro area is more like 8 million people. So you have to think in terms of sheer size, numbers, also concentration. It's kind of hard to beat the technology scene out there. That's something that has been there for a long time, and I think it's going to continue to be there for a while. And it's hard to overstate the benefits uh, when it comes to being a beginner and learning about these things that comes with being in that area. Finally, some people might not like this, but I've noticed the service is kind of slid some in the South. The South is associated with Southern hospitality and used to. It seemed like there was great service everywhere, but here lately, in the last 6 months that I've been here, I've noticed it seems like service has gone downhill. I don't know what the cause of that is. Maybe we're doing so well in the economy right now that it's difficult to find workers, but it's just something that I noticed that it seemed like there was better service in California. I thought it would have been the opposite. Most people would say it's probably the opposite, but it seemed like out in California there was many fewer times where I noticed specifically bad service. Whereas in Tennessee, it seems like at least once a week, maybe more than that, twice a week. Now I'm encountering bad service, and it's like, man, I really miss in California where it seemed like maybe things were made to be more efficient. The processes were more efficient to the point where there was less room for error. But anyway, these are some of the things that I miss about California. Uh, I didn't really talk about going to the beach as much. I guess that is part of outdoor activities, but I really do miss going to the beach, and that's something that I'm hoping to in the future live near again. Is whether it be the beaches in California or beaches in another country. I really like the idea of being near the water. Thank you for watching. This video has been about the things that I miss about California. My name is Alex Conley. I'm actually going to do a video as well about things I don't miss about California. So if you want to hear your grievances, you can over there. And until next time.